and this is known as Taimanov variation. Now in this position, Bobby made a mistake by playing bishop to c5. Okay, so why this move is a mistake? This is because suppose after takes and takes, now you can see that black can actually play b4 in future, which attacks this knight, as well as black can also brings his bishop to b5 later, targeting this queen. And you can see that basically from this move, it activates all of the black pieces. Instead of the bishop to c5 move, in this position here Bobby must consider the move rook to b1, adding defense towards this b4 pawn, and by this you can see that it's quite difficult for black to break through. Here suppose if black brings his queen further on a3, then white can simply play rook to b3, attacking this queen, and after this queen goes back, now white can actually bring back his bishop to f2, which attacks this e4 pawn, and you can see that this game will continue like this. But in the actual game, after this move, and that's a big mistake by Spassky. Instead of this move, he must consider this crazy move, which is e3, sacrificing this pawn. But why? This is because after suppose if queen captures this pawn, now black can bring his knight to e7, threatening to play knight to f5, targeting this queen, and you can see that this is a very good outpost for this knight. So that's why to stop this, it is important for white to play g4. But after this, now comes rook to d7, and you can see that in the next move black will double his rook, and to create some additional defense to this knight. Suppose if white brings his knight to e4 so that he can defend this knight, now black can play rook to a7, targeting this pawn, and clearly you can see that black is better because no one can save this pawn. And yeah, that's all. So let's go back to our original game. In the actual game, after knight to e7, Okay, so this move basically stops the move knight to d4, which forks this queen and this rook. And the best way to defend this is to just push this pawn. But Spassky made a mistake by bringing his king further on h6. And now white is winning because now white can play this amazing move, which is queen to g1, attacking this queen. And suppose if takes, then now simply rook takes g1. And yeah, black can bring his rook to stop this pawn, but white can easily defend this. And if e5, then king to g2. Okay, king to g6, rook to a5, targeting this pawn, but simply king to f6, king to f3, king to f5, rook to a4, g5. Okay, h takes g5, king takes g5, king to e4, targeting this pawn, but simply king to f6. And now white can simply play this, targeting this. But now you can see that here black is out of moves, so that's why the only move is to just shuffle this rook. But simply after this a7, king to e6, rook takes e5 check, king to d7, rook takes h5. And obviously black can't capture this pawn because then white will give a check from h7 square and grab this rook. And in this position clearly you can see that white is winning. But in the actual game, after king to h6, white missed that move and instead he decides to play queen to a2. And now it's better for black to just bring back his queen to a7 so that he can stop this pawn. But instead he made a blunder by playing rook to e7. And why this move is a blunder? This is because now Fischer gives a check from d2 square, and after he moves, now comes rook to e2. And again black must consider queen to b5. Just yes, this move trying to attack this pawn, but instead he made a mistake again by just bringing his king to h7. And in this position Boris Spassky resigned. And you can see that the further variation I have already explained you. This is your host Bison signing off. Bye bye.